Recently, I discovered the band Feeble and their album Go of Fish through a friend who they don't actually know that I found it through them. I use this app called Airbuds. I think a lot of people do it. So where you can like see what your friends are listening to and like react and. Um, and so I saw that they'd listened to the album all the way through, and I know they'd listened to it before, and I was kind of like, I'm kind of looking for some new music at the minute. Let me see what it's about. I didn't listen to sort of a sample or anything. Like it shows you like a preview. I just went straight in, hadn't got a clue about the band or the style of music. And I listened to it this morning, and I felt immediately sort of compelled to talk about it, and sort of the themes that the album covers, but also the way that the album's made, which I sort of discovered as I researched it. They have a very good, I think it's their website. It's just feeblelittlehorse.com. And they talk about like their songwriting process, more specifically to do with Go with Fish, the album, which is their most recent release. I think it was 2023, and they released a song last year. Other than that, not much. I don't know if they're on hiatus or I'm I'm not in the loop with them. I'm sure I will be soon enough. But yeah, very interesting new band as well. Early into their career, they've only released 2 EPs, 2 albums. I don't think much is really known about them. Like their Wikipedia page is really sparse. I know Wikipedia, whatever. Henry Cavill's gonna kill me. But I'm gonna start off by saying this is a really nice album, and you can watch it before this video, you can watch it after. I highly recommend it. But kind of leading on from my last video actually is I kind of wish that I found this album over winter or like autumn time. It very much feels like it's a winter sort of album, and it sounds nostalgic, but it's also new at the same time. And there's a lot of you can hear their influences quite clearly. Like there's a lot of like Alex G, sort of a bit shoegazy, My Bloody Valentine as well with the guitar tones. It's a little bit sort of Midwest emo-y, maybe like American Football. They kind of jump to mind, especially to do with the lyrics mainly. But yeah, it feels nostalgic but sounds new at the same time. It's a very sort of interesting experience to listen to. And I think what plays into that is the lyrics and sort of what I'm assuming is their sort of theme for the album that they went into. And that's of like sort of childhood. It's very sort of playful. There's a lot of references to like games and the Tin Man, which is obviously Alice. I can't even remember. But yeah, no, references to that, and then like playgrounds and games and stuff like that. Just little sort of things intertwined, but they have a sort of deeper message running throughout it. One of the sort of lyrics that stood out to me the most is off of Healing, which it's a very short song. All the songs are very short, about 2 minutes long. It says, "My skin's still left a mark. Even after the healing stops, how long till it scars? Dirt's left in the hole. Once the plant's removed, I see where it once was." And I don't know, I just feel like the sort of, once the healing stops, how long till it scars and marks. And there's a lot of sort of references to this. Also like falling over on the playground and like grazing your hands and stuff. It's very sort of childlike, but also has deeper meanings to it. Obviously talking about maybe grief here or a breakup, or how long it'll take to scar and heal over and move on from this, but does it in a very playful way. And they talk about this on their website, about their sort of songwriting process and enjoying the songs that they're making, and having a different approach for each song. I just thought that was really interesting and sort of a breath of fresh air, I suppose. Like there's less pressure. They are signed to a record label, but I've not heard of them. It seems like they're very much left to their own devices and have a lot of creative freedom. There's no input from elsewhere. And that's kind of shown through the album art as well. It's a really cool art, but there's a dog that's pretty pretty nasty looking, and I'm looking at here, it looks like a kid's drawing that's sort of faded away. And you know, the album art does play a role in albums, but that's a whole another can of worms. But more, I'm not going to be going too in depth into the songs, more just kind of the sound of the album. I'll keep this video fairly short. But there's a sort of mix of harsh tones. The lead singer's voice is very soft. It's a very nice. It kind of reminds me of Olivia Rodrigo a bit. I don't know why. That sort of sprang to mind. But sings very sort of softly, and it's a bit shoegazy, like the sort of very brief lines, nothing that goes on too long, sort of short, simple statements, and there's these like sort of atmospheric sounds going on in the background, and very experimental guitar tones as well. I get very similar to DSU by Alex G. That's kind of the main sort of, I feel like that must have been a big inspiration. But there's like sort of overly distorted guitars as well, and the drums are kind of very hot. It's which is they're loud, sort of. It's like the mics are being overloaded. That's what I mean by saying hot. And then, yeah, contrasting with these sort of childlike kind of tales and lyrics, it's a very, yeah, it's nostalgia. It sort of makes this sort of contrast that you're kind of wrapping around it, but it all works very well. And then them being short, it's almost as if they're like sort of nursery rhymes. But despite them being so short, they're very fleshed out. There's sort of little changes here and there. And I think it was on the song Heaven, or was it, oh, Pocket, sorry. There's like a complete shift near the end, like 2/3 of the way in. And they play around with so much in such short time. The album's only 26 minutes long, and it's 11 tracks. I mean, when you upload things to like Spotify and stuff, apparently 30 minutes is an album. So this technically isn't even, but it feels so much bigger than it is. And I kind of get that with this band as a whole. Like, this came out 3 years ago nearly, and I thought they were bigger than they were. They only have around 150,000 Spotify listeners. Definitely deserve more. Maybe they'll blow up soon if they release something else. But yeah, this feels like it could have been made in like the 90s or the early 2000s, or, you know, literally it feels like within the last sort of 3 decades it could have been released any time around then. And that is sort of a testament to the influences that they have, or I'm assuming, for this album. And it's a breath, you know, it's just a breath of fresh air through that. There's kind of no, you know, there's no standout tracks. I mean, there's ones that have more listens, but they're all very, very succinct. All play on similar themes, but all very uniquely different at the same time. And it's a very sort of short, digestible listen. And I'm definitely gonna see myself going back to it a lot. But yeah, I just wanted to give like some immediate thoughts. I mean, it's not a massive project, and again, this band's not been out for long, but I highly recommend it. And you know, maybe try and like pick up on these themes when you're listening to it. Let me know your thoughts as well. So yeah, a lot shorter video, but yeah, that's it.